The mainstream media in Western countries predictably chuckle at people with a conscience trying to break the siege of Gaza.
I wanted to get your reaction to the IDF boarding Greta Thunberg's so-called freedom yacht.
Look at her. It's unbelievable. Playing Titanic.
Sorry, I shouldn't laugh. People got a little bit weary about her bleating on about the climate, so she changed tack and jumped on the Free Palestine bandwagon, which inadvertently means she appears to be supporting Hamas.
And Sky News chimed in.
I suppose the criticism is that perhaps she's not as innocent as all that. She's been accused of being anti-Semitic, hasn't she? There are others on board who've been accused of being Hamas sympathisers.
That sounds exactly like a press release from the Israeli government. Piers Morgan described Greta Thunberg as an attention-seeking narcissist.
A very distracting piece of narcissistic attention-seeking by somebody with a track record for doing this. The flotilla was a joke, a publicity. It was an attention-seeking publicity stunt that was designed to raise attention for Greta Thunberg.
Who is Piers Morgan to call anyone an attention-seeking narcissist? Piers Morgan is no one to say what would and wouldn't make a difference.
I choked up earlier reading this new revelation about 40 babies being killed.
Oh my God.
And some of them being beheaded. And I was like, how can any human being do that to a baby?
We have to understand the creation of the mythology around what happened on October 7th has been vital to justifying and underpinning this killing on an industrial scale.
The Israeli Defence Minister did arrange for the group to be shown a video depicting the atrocities of October the 7th.
They tell us about October 7th, but what about October 8th, October 9th, October 10th, October 11th, October 12th, October 13th, October 14th, October 15th, and for 2 years afterwards, killing on an industrial scale. The Israeli government and their pawns in the mainstream media want to refer to Greta Thunberg and her friends' attempt to break the siege of Gaza as a selfie yacht.
Here in the office, we call it the TikTok yacht, this selfie yacht.
Yeah, Israel is calling it the selfie yacht.
That phrase that is being used and picked up by local media, that it is the selfie yacht.
The IDF intercepting the so-called selfie yacht.
After 19 months of selfie genocide. People in Gaza are starving from the blockade. Meanwhile, on the beaches of Tel Aviv, just like the film The Zone of Interest, which depicts this juxtaposition between inside the concentration camp and outside the concentration camp. History doesn't repeat exactly, but it often rhymes. Hijacking boats in international waters is an act of piracy. And for decades, Israel has been doing this from Cyprus to Lebanon. Hijacking, detaining, and even killing those who sought to bring aid, support, and love to the people of Gaza.
Israeli forces stormed at least one ship attempting to break the blockade of Gaza. Commanders lowered themselves from the helicopters and onto the Mavi Marmara. That's the lead ship in a flotilla of 6 vessels which are carrying aid for the Palestinian territory. We can confirm that at least 2 people have been killed and more than 30 have been injured. Israeli radio is reporting the death toll may be as high as 16 people.
But Israel is using the offering of sandwiches to citizens of European countries who tried to break that siege as a propaganda victory. Greta Thunberg went from being a darling of the liberal media.
We're going to go to some good news now, and this was just announced moments ago. The Time Person of the Year is 16-year-old climate change activist Greta Thunberg. She definitely deserves
it
that
as well. No question about that.
To literally having microphones snatched out of her hand when she attempted to speak for the humanity of people in Gaza.
We have not been listening. The people in power have not been listening.
I come here for a climate demonstration, not a political view.
For those that would say to Greta Thunberg, just go back to climate activism, it's got nothing to do with Gaza. The carbon footprint that Israel has left in Gaza is bigger than 100 countries across the world. Israel's annihilation of Palestine has generated 31 million tons of carbon dioxide. Israel is literally killing the future of humanity in Gaza. Over 20,000 children and polluting the entire world with all of this carbon dioxide. What will emerge from the ashes of Gaza? And what will it say about the rest of us? What did you do when the Hunger Games was real and live streamed?
This is a continued violation of international law and war crimes that Israel are systematically committing against Palestinians by not letting aid come in, by starving people and mass slaughtering in every possible way during a live-streamed, full-blown genocide that the world is watching.
85 years ago, 1,000 ships sailed to Dunkirk to rescue soldiers trapped there. Why can we not today launch 1,000 ships to break this siege of Gaza?
The Freedom Flotilla coalition has been continuously sending boats aiming to break the siege and open up a humanitarian corridor since 2008. And right now, more important than ever, because of the siege and because of the systematic starvation of over 2 million people and the full-blown live-stream genocide, we see what is happening, and we cannot accept just witnessing all this and doing nothing. That can never be an option.
While the Western media lets out a hearty laugh at a 22-year-old Swedish activist, you have to remember that cowardice is contagious, but so is courage. And Greta Thunberg has more courage in her little finger than the entire media class in this country. This is a very important story which I am very grateful to Double Down News for publishing. There is a reason you won't see this story anywhere on the mainstream media. I hope that you can continue to support the work that they do here by becoming a member of the Patreon now.